Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level best of 5. Today we have Zest versus Special. This is a best of 5 that was recently played in the Olimol League Invitational number 12. That means that every single map will be played no matter the result. Every map, I believe there's $41 on the line, and they're all played on different maps as well. We have Nautilus, Roughneck and Golden Wall, and I do believe we have a couple of repeats in there as well. I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen on this first map, as we see Zest open up with a standard core before Nexus wall at the ramp. At the same time we have Special with a double gas opener. It makes a lot of sense. If you're playing on a 4-player map, it's difficult to scout, so perhaps some early game aggression or some early game greed is the way to go. We do see that Nexus go down on the side of Zest. We'll have to wait and see what Special's exact plans are going to be. There's a lot of different build orders that he can follow up with after this initial Reaper opener. Obviously this can go into some triple Reaper, double Hellion, double Reaper, single Hellion, Mind Drop behind this, so you just get a reactor straight away after. No, instead we will see that second Reaper at least. And that first Reaper is, well, at large going to be used just for scouting. I really like that Zest hasn't scouted yet, but eventually he will need to try and figure out where his opponent actually is located, because it's important for his own unit positioning, just for scouting in general. It's nice to know what your opponent is doing. So there are some factors at play here, that is for sure. Twilight Council gets thrown down here for Zest, who opened up with a Stalker without a Chrono Boost. This has to be one of the greediest openers that I've seen out of Zest in a while. Well, the Chrono Boost is all being saved up here. Guess he wants to use it after his natural Nexus finishes, but I wouldn't mind already seeing one Chrono here on the probes right now. It's not quite what is going to be happening, as this Stalker makes its way across the map. He barely misses that Reaper, or the Reaper misses the Stalker. Depends what perspective you take. This time around though, the Stalker will spot the Reaper. Also saw one Reaper already in the natural. So right now Zest should be aware that there's 2 Reapers on the map, and it's not just 2 Reapers, it's 2 Reapers in a Hellion. Zest is going to be caught out of position with that one Stalker. Special will drive by, throw down 2 grenades, and start sacrificing himself onto these workers. Good control on that Reaper on the left side as well, kind of luring that Stalker away and getting 1 or 2 extra shots off, more than he usually would have gotten. Now, 5 worker kills here to start with. Was that a recall? I think that might have been a recall on that Stalker. Yeah, we do see the cooldown on the recall currently active, and that means that 50 energy was spent in this defense. We saw 5 workers go down, and I think Special also got that full info on what's going on. It's like, hey, wait a second, that's a Twilight Council over there, this is a robotics facility. So Special has a pretty good idea of what's actually happening, and it's important that he does not walk into any of these mines. Yeah, that's actually kind of big. I like that. Special is going to move across the map, but the bunker's not quite done yet. This might have been an error, a small error in judgment. And as a result, his Mind Drop is actually going to end up being a little bit delayed. It's not going to be too slow though. Oh, if these Stalkers get a couple of extra free shots off on this medevac, that could actually be kind of painful here for Special. This is kind of painful here for Special. Now needs to start repairing, and this medevac will not arrive before Blink finishes, and thus should not really be capable of dealing any damage whatsoever over here. Interested to see where these Stalkers are going to be positioned. Will they just continue patrolling around here? Oh yeah, Zest is on the hunt. This is cool to see. So rather than kind of staying passive and saying, hey, once you reach my base, I will take care of it, he says, no, I want to take care of that prism, or take care of that Mind Drop while you're still on the map. Special will either need to go around very, very far, completely dodge the watchtower as well, or he's going to get spotted and most likely killed. Now Zest is actually still on 2 bases. I had not noticed this, and if I hadn't noticed this, it's absolutely impossible that Special figured this out. There is 1 tank and it's, well, somewhat in position. I think Special is aware that something weird is happening, or maybe he's just looking for an observer. He's not going to end up finding that. This tank is somewhat exposed as well. This is a lot of Stalkers. And these Stalkers might just be capable of one-shotting the tank, or just completely dodging the tank here. 2 shots will go off. Factory might get targeted down, which means no second tank will ever arrive. If that factory does end up getting targeted down, it would be extremely big here. Zest is going to continue running in. Second tank does finish before the factory dies, and that is a big win here. At the same time, medevac drop with these 3 mines is going to head in towards the natural. Zest is paying attention. Single mine is going to get dropped here. Should get unburrowed, should get unburrowed. We do not get an unburrow of that 1 mine. Kind of sloppy play out of special, honestly. We'll get 1 more shot off. Ooh, does unburrow this one and gets the lift. Maybe we could drop it again. Yep, there we go. Very solid moves out of special here. Good control on these mines, and that's going to buy him a lot of time. And at the same time, also just keep him in a good position. Special just scouted the lack of a base over here. Now, does not know much about this location, so is not aware whether there's a nexus there, what the timing of that nexus is. If Special, however, had map hack, I think he would be very happy with the current situation, because not much has happened that didn't go his way. This factory sure took a little bit of damage, but it didn't die. The second tank got out. Like, units lost right now. Sure, Special is slightly behind, but this build order that Zest was doing needs to do some damage. You can't just not do any damage with that whatsoever. Look at that retarget fire on the mine. This is some very cool play. I think he can do this for a long time as well. No, he can't. If he would have been capable of doing that for a long time, it would have been huge. Because you just deny mining for such a long time. And it forces Zest to pull all of his workers off the line, not just the ones in minerals. 4 more gates on the way. We also have Storm being researched and 3 Templar out already in a prism. Is he actually going in for a Storm drop here? That would surprise me, because it does not feel like this is a position where he's so comfortable that he can just waste Storms onto SCVs. It almost feels like he needs to use them on the army. But perhaps Zest has a different opinion here. Well, definitely has a different opinion, as he seems to be setting up for that play. Oh, rallies it in, but sees the turret and will decide to just kind of move away. Goes in, wants to get some damage done. I mean, reveal Storm for 2 SCV kills, also loses a lot of energy. 3 Storms, kind of wasted. 2 kills on one, 0 kills on the other. Killed like 3 Marines total. 3 Marines and 2 SCVs for 3 Storms. If I'm Special here, I'm like, hey, wait a second. That's a lot of gas that is achieving absolutely nothing in that prism right now. I think I can move across the map and do something. There is still, well, there's 2 Storms that will be available soon. But that is kind of manageable with this type of tank force. Look at the amount of mines as well. Vikings being produced to deal with the prism. I wouldn't even mind Liberators in this type of scenario. I think Liberators here would have actually been really sick to get that very strong siege position. Viking control isn't brilliant, but they will stay alive for now. We have this small army moving forward, some leapfrogging tanks as well. Good scan on top of his own army, making sure there's no observer, so these leapfrogs cannot kind of be revealed. And Zest can't engage at the perfect timing. Charge wasn't even done yet until now. Here come the charge lots, and they're hungry for some damage. One single Templar does manage to drop out of that prism, gets a decent Storm. I do believe that Special actually might just barely be winning this fight. It's going to be close, and the next warp in will definitely make things a little bit harder for him. There's still 1 mine far in the back. Oh, blink away. Yep, there we go. Good stuff. Stim towards that left side right now. Wants to chase some of it. Did he just kill one of his own units there? I think that was one of his own units. Look at that micro through the slow zone is definitely, or through the speed zone is definitely going to help him. I do think that Special needs to be careful and needs to start throwing down a Ghost Academy at some point. It feels like Ghosts in this type of game are just going to be ultra useful. At the same time, we also have to note that there's not a single force out yet here for Zest. Zest has been playing this like the game is about to end in 15 seconds from now. And well, so far that isn't really the case. Zest is, I don't want to say on a timer, but he does need to start transitioning. I mean, he has 4 bases, which is nice, but his worker count isn't brilliant. It's not like he's on like 75, 80 workers. Now this is a lower worker count. This drop is going to get cleared up, I think. Special stays around for a little bit too long. 5, 6, 7, 6 workers will end up falling. Mine gets taken out as well. I do not actually mind that drop so much there in the end. At the same time, we also had a double mine drop. Special's playing so fast that I can't even follow him. It's kind of sick. Ghost Academy is researching the enhanced shockwaves, the increased radius upgrade for EMP. It's a huge upgrade, hugely important at least. Quite sure what this medevac is doing, but Zest is moving in position and he wants to fight. Is there a single ghost out yet? No, there is not. That means that this fight could be really bad right now for Special. Special is paying attention. First Storm doesn't hit anything. Second Storm actually hits nothing. It didn't even try to hit something here. This is a bigger storm, but also largely hitting the Zealot. That was a huge storm. Absolutely dealing a crap ton of damage. Big warp in as well in the face of danger, but there should be no problem whatsoever. Zest saying, hey, you still don't have any ghost. 11 minutes into the game. Well, in that case, my pure gate army is just straight up going to destroy you. We do have a drop on the other side of the map with these 3 mines, but only 3 workers will fall. At the same time, Special losing every single worker in his 3rd base and is going to lose this first game. This is somewhat surprising because his position looked honestly pretty good for the majority of it, and the only real thing he was missing in these fights were ghosts. He just was a little too slow at building these ghosts, too keen on getting everything else, I guess. Gas was available. I mean, we have 400 gas in the bank. It's not like he was getting a fast 2-2 either, so it seems like negligence almost, where he forgot about the Ghost Academy. Yeah, happens to the best. Happens to the best there. 1-0 for Zest, and we'll be heading into game number 2. In the bottom right, we have the pink Protoss player Zest, up 1-0. And top left, we do have Special, sending out his first SCV on the map, looking for a cheeky proxy location. Something I hadn't noticed until recently, by the way, is that Zest indeed always picks pink as his color. Every single game I watch him play these days, he's playing with pink. As he opens up once again with a Reaper wall. This does that look secure actually? It's hard to figure out sometimes. There are some maps where this type of setup is not actually allowed, and you need to build this pylon one further to the right in order to get a complete wall. I'm not entirely sure what's the case on this map though. It's really difficult to say. Sometimes you also believe it's a wall, but if a Terran clicks with their Reaper in a certain way on a certain location, they can still jump up. It is difficult to reproduce, and there's very little Terrans that try, but there are some maps on which it is possible. I want to say 2k atmospheres it's currently possible, but honestly, I don't really know anyone that Reaper walls on 2k atmosphere, except for Zest. Zest very consistently Reaper walls on practically every single map. The funny thing is that he also tends to do kind of late scout, and always makes me believe that things like proxy Reapers would actually be pretty difficult for him to deal with if they are on the, well, quote-unquote correct side. And that would be, in this case, like somewhere over here. So they would just walk in rather than having to walk all the way around just to get into the main base. And maybe over here even could be possible. It's a good map for some proxies, by the way. It really is. First Reaper is going to get sent out. Second Reaper is on the way as well. This Reaper is just straight up rally towards the top. It's going to get caught in no man's land. Oh! Nice Reaper wall, bro. That did absolutely nothing. And now this Reaper is going to go unchecked for, well, what is this? Like 8-9 seconds here. First probe is going to get taken out. Zealot is halfway across the map already, though. That is interesting. That is a very interesting Zealot. It's going to start hitting depots. It will scout the lack of a factory in the wall, though, which is honestly kind of big. Oh my god, this is such a cool old school build order. You love to see it here out of Special. I actually cannot believe it. This is the, look at this is beauty. This is what beauty is. This is so cool. This build used to be super popular, but I haven't seen it in a long time. The armory walk-in mines. At the same time, we see Special needs to be careful with his Reapers. He does not want to lead his opponent to the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. Oh, no, the Stargate is finished. I guess he is going to figure out what it is. I think this is too fast, no? Yeah, needs to burrow one more time. Good. He's so aware of the timings of what he needs to do exactly. Does not want to shoot before he becomes invisible with that armory. Oh, look. Look how keen they were. Look at these stupid stalkers, how keen they were. They're like, oh, we're gonna kill him. You're not. You absolutely are not gonna kill him. No shot, my friend. This mine is actually kind of is migrating towards the further left side of the base. I think Special probably wants to get it. Yeah. This feels like a Mario Party minigame with the mines, you know? Unburrow them when the stalkers aren't looking. And this mine is also going to get taken out by this Oracle. I'm not even sure if this is that good, but I just love this build order. I really do love this build order. I think it's so funny. Oh. Probes get the kill there on Mindy the Mine. Second Oracle is out. First Viking is being produced as well. This Zealot has been having the time of his life. He's like target practice over here on this depot. This other guy is just repairs, like, you're not gonna get through, buddy, like, you can quit. Now the Marine is out, starts shooting the Zealot, but also takes a while, because it goes rather slow. These Oracles spot the factory. I love that he revelated it. Or maybe it's because he revelated a mine earlier and it still has that animation on it. That probably was the real reason. It would be pretty cool otherwise, though. I would like that. I really would like that. Oh, it's going to fly towards the dead space again. Second Viking on the way as well is going to actually be somewhat useful, as there's triple Oracles. And with just a single Viking, it might be difficult to stop that. This Viking is about 10 seconds away from finishing right now. And, well, see what these Oracles are going to be capable of achieving. Well, one Marine goes down. Second Viking pops at the perfect time. A couple of workers will fall. Single mule also goes down. I feel like if these Vikings had been microed slightly better, that this would have also been better. There's not that much energy anymore. No, there's plenty of energy, at least for a single revelation. I don't think this factory is going to finish up this one mine, is it? I think he should cancel this. This seems like a mistake. Special still going to burrow. We'll get a single worker with that, but I mean, that's not really that big of a deal. 4 workers have gone down on the side of Special this game so far. 5, actually 6 in total. And 5 workers have gone down on the side of Zest. I still, despite the even worker losses, I feel like this might actually be slightly better for Special. The worker count now is relatively close. The infrastructure for Zest isn't brilliant. I guess this +1 is pretty fast though. And there's no +1 for Special. That is a semi-big deal. The question that I have is, are there going to be any charge lots out by the time this push hits? And I think the answer to that will be no. So you'll be relying on a pure Blink Stalker army off of a low gateway infrastructure. Or, like, I'm thinking 5-6 gateways here. And this is going to be 5 gateways for now. Getting up to like 8 before this push hits, that will be hard. But at the same time, how big is that push going to be? There's a lot of questions here because the Marine Marauder count is surprisingly small, obviously. First, medevacs are now on the way. We also, of course, need to factor in the fact that there are stasis wards available. Ooh, look at this drill go. Brrr. I'm drilling sand. Brrr. It's black sand. Brrr. Idiots. What's he even drilling for? Oh, it's oil, maybe. Are we underwater? I don't know what that black stuff is. I don't think that's what oil looks like, no? Well, we have 2 Oracles flying in. These Stalkers will be capable of delaying this push, at least for a little bit. Oh, big mine drop is going to be sent across the map as well. Zest. Ooh, he almost saw that, but he barely just missed it. That's actually kind of big, because this mine drop is going to be super useful. If you spread out a bunch of mines across 2-3 different bases, yeah, that's going to be huge. There's no pylon here. There's nothing here to spot, and that means that this mine drop could, well, I don't want to say be the end of the game, but could be the beginning of the end here for Zest in this game. Special's only up 6 workers, wants to start building a 3rd CC. I love this stim. I love this. It doesn't make a lot of sense because you're not going to kill anything, but it forces Zest to look at his Stalkers and look at that. The response slightly too slow. 10 worker kills here with those initial 2 mines. We have 2 more though where that came from. If Special's paying attention, he will not drop here. He is paying attention. He's always paying attention. And he gets another double drop in. Perhaps can target down. Ooh. Almost got a couple of sentries there. I wouldn't have even minded if he would have tried picking them up. But at the same time, they're invisible. You need an observer in order to pick these off. And that's exactly what Zest has. Luckily for him. That stim was so brilliant. Absolutely fantastic stim. Like I said, in isolation, that stim is stupid. It's going to cost you a lot of medevac energy. You're going to maybe damage one of the Stalkers. It's not going to work, but in combination with that medevac drop, it is very good. This is the type of play of someone that knows that StarCraft is a game of imperfections, a game of mistakes, and you need to force these mistakes. The more mistakes you can force, the higher the chance of winning. He's not trying to play perfect himself, you know? He's saying, I want my opponent to play worse. I want my opponent to play poor. And he managed to force a big mistake there. That Stasis Ward is going to expire just in time. 2 Vikings already on the way. This is actually a very scary fight here to take for Zest. Super Battery, ooh, not activated yet. Good patience there. Very solid patience on that super battery. Zest going in for the chase. Can he actually do that? 8 more workers, 9 more workers going to get taken out. These mines once again try to run to safety. Will get blocked by a Stalker warp in. So that's a good move out of Zest. And none of these mines will get away. At the same time though, we have this fight. 1 Colossi getting taken out. An Immortal getting blasted as well. And right now Special in a lead. And a pretty serious lead as well. Equal in workers. Already has that Viking production. +2 attack on the way. And he completely skipped his armor upgrades. Playing this like a Protoss player right now. +3 on the way for Zest over here. Charge is done. Thermal lens, not quite. Oh, I'm kind of getting giddy here. I think that Special might be doing it. Ghost Academy on the way as well. So probably he's looking for something of like a +2 ghost timing. He's taking out a lot of these rocks as well to make his movement around the map a little bit easier. Look at the lack of vision really that Zest has. He's looking for stuff with these Stalkers. He needs to win. He knows he needs to win. Because otherwise he's just going to get blasted by, well, what is it, 8 to 10 Vikings. This is already 6 Vikings out. There's going to be 8. There's 3 ghosts. Okay, it's going to be an 8 Viking push, it seems to me. Like this will be 8 Viking. Yeah, because you get rally 9 and 10. But it shouldn't be good enough. Behind this there will be a fort base. At least that's kind of what I'm assuming here for Special. Fort base, maybe even a second eBay being thrown down as well. These are all things that are somewhat viable. Could start +3 attack if he wanted to. Has a lot of money. This is also 4 medevacs. Low medevac count. High Viking count. Needs to be careful with those Vikings though. First EMPs. Hello, EMPs. There we go. Are hitting. First Colossi is going to get taken out. This is not quite the fight that I had hoped for Special, but it might just end up being fine anyway. I mean, he takes everything out. So perhaps this is the fight that I was hoping for. Just didn't look as great. Felt like he was taking a lot of damage from these Colossi on his Marine Ball. Absolutely seemed fine in the end though. There's 2 new Vikings coming in right now. Those were number 9 and 10. The first 8 have fallen at this point. There's still a single EMP available. Super Battery just runs out at this point. Where's that EMP? I did not see it happen. All of these units still have their shields, so I don't think it's going to matter. Though Special is just moving in with some good control. Some solid micro. GG gets called as Zest wins. Special wins game number 2. Zest needs to tap out, and the score in this best of 5 is 1-1. Game number 3 will be played over here on Golden Wall, one of my all-time favorite maps, as we have Zest opening with a low ground pylon, or at least that seems to be the case. Yep, there we go. Might go for a little bit of a wall. There isn't any Reaper jump-in spots, except for this one, I want to say. I think this might even be blockable with a single pylon. I recall playing builds like this, where you just full wall the ramp and block this with a pylon. Is that what we did? Or you put like the first pylon over here or something? And block this with like another tech building? I can't quite recall how we did it. But in my mind that's possible. You build like a pylon here, cyber gate, 1 unit in the wall, then build this with a 3x3 building. Sounds pretty decent to me. I mean, I'm not quite sure why I'm theory crafting about a map that isn't even being played anymore, except for in the GSL and apparently the Oli Molik Invitational number 12. This SCV is scouting around for any proxy gates. It's not going to find them because there are no proxy gates. It's still nice to scout around for though. Ooh, what you doing, Special? What you doing? Like actually, what are you doing? Wait, what are you doing? What is this? Factory? Okay, it's gonna be factory, surely. There we go. Okay, proxy is a factory. This was a gas first then, wasn't it? Gas first, marine into factory. Might be like a triple Hellion drop, something along those lines. A good build order, by the way. It really is a good build order. Underrated build order, truly. I believe this. It is a very, very underrated build order in the current meta. Now, of course, it's only underrated as long as it, you know, you guys don't start raiding it. That is important. It also might be overrated if the Zealot finds the factory and starts killing it. That would be a very sad moment here. But there's no real reason for Zest to move there. I'd be surprised if he gets there. Nah, he won't. Just going to make its way in towards the main base, or He wants to try and make his way in towards the main base. This Marine needs to be microed very effectively, very efficiently. That's what's going to happen. Now, there's a bit of a double mind game going on here, obviously. And we'll explain that after these depots are going to get hit by the Zealot. Because Zest is not aware on whether there's a CC in the back of this base or if this is a one base build. And that's kind of what makes this so brilliant and so fun and so interesting. Where this is close. You can see that Special really thought about this build. This build is actually really good on this map. I love that. I really do love that. You got a quick depot raise here. It's 3 Marines against a single Stalker. A Marine should not be dying, especially once Marine 4 and 5 come out. You can push away the vision of the Stalker on the ramp. As, for now, he seems to just be kind of keen on stopping this. Zealot cannot afford to lose the depot, though. That is an important thing to note. It's going to be a triple Hellion drop indeed. Phoenixes. Stalkers into Phoenixes. This is a double Stalker opener into Phoenix. Into Proxy Battlecruiser. Are you kidding me? Alright. Now this is a build. Oh, please. Very unlucky there for Special. This completely changes the outcome of this game. Completely changes it. 100%. Oh no. If that Hellion would have gone slightly more towards the top side, these 3 Hellions with no batteries available would have been capable of doing so much damage. But now, well, I don't think they're going to be able to do any damage whatsoever. Hellions are trying to run in towards the natural. Can we get a full wall off in time? Well, I think we should be capable of getting a full wall off in time. Here we go. No full wall, but there's units in position already at this point. Stalker, Zealot, the single Phoenix lift as well. This is such a different scenario. This legit could have been game-ending damage. Like, we're talking 10, 12 worker kills here. Instead, we get none. Like, that is a huge difference, especially because this is a momentum-based build. This is not a build in which you can just sit back and wait for your BC to arrive. No, you want to cause chaos. You want your opponent to believe that there might be a mine drop happening after as well. None of this is going to be viable right now. Special in an absolutely awful position at this point. I just don't think that this can really work out anymore. This is going to get spotted as well by Zest. It's fairly obvious as to what is happening exactly here. I mean, this is either a Banshee or a Battlecruiser, or like the weirdest Raven. Oh my god, this is chaos. This is pain. This is the worst thing that actually could have happened. That Hellion drop getting spotted kind of reveals the location of all of these buildings as well. It's going to be a tank Battlecruiser push. I mean, you can't straight up engage into a BC. I do admire Zest that he at least tries. This BC could even teleport across the map, technically. Teleport into the main? It's kind of risky. It is kind of risky. Yeah, but this is pain. This is absolute pain over here. Special still going to try to make this one base push work. Zest now is aware that this is actually a one base. Should start building batteries like his life depends on it. I love the Void Ray addition as well over here. Extra gateways. I'm not entirely sure on how useful that is going to be, but I guess he just cancelled a Nexus to afford that, which is once again absolutely the correct call. Another thing he could have done, by the way, is pretend to defend the natural while actually just mining from that third base. So, like, you defend this with batteries and then you slowly but surely kind of kite back with more batteries towards your main base, all the while out mining your opponent because you're just up a base. Then eventually you have so many Void Rays and other units that you can't really lose anymore. It's going to be a single BC push here. I mean, this is just not going to work. And these Phoenixes behind, just picking off reinforcements, also absolutely the correct play here. Once again, I have to admire Zest for his decision making in this game, because it has been nothing short of fantastic. Double Immortal on top of the ramp. Start working on these Marines, but I mean, this is a fight that doesn't need to be fought. At this point, Special, in my mind, can already start waving the white flag. There's not enough damage output in this army to break through batteries. This Liberator might make things a little bit more interesting. Who am I really kidding? Super Battery gets activated. We see the Prismatic Alignment as well, putting in some work. I would have loved target fire on this Liberator. GG gets called as all the Marines go down. And Zest wins game number 3, puts himself one map away from that match point. Here we are on map number 4. Once again, it's going to be Roughneck, the map where earlier we saw a proxy factory fly into Zest, his main base. Later on, a couple of big mine hits, kind of finishing the game in favor of Special. Now, this time around it's going to be different. Or at least I think it's going to be different, because we don't have that initial Proxy Reaper. Let's not forget, that's how it started. Proxy Reaper into Proxy Factory, into some crazy mine drops that dealt so much damage. With that brilliant stim that Special had over here. Absolutely love that play. This is something that as a Protoss player you need to keep in mind. If you see a stim and in your head you're like, man, what a stupid stim, you should be looking at the minimap right at that moment, rather than laughing at your opponent's stim. You're like, hey, wait a second, what's the point of that stim? Like, a trigger should go off immediately. And you really should be worried in that moment, always. As a Protoss, you always should be worried about the window mine drops. Because those bad boys, you don't pay attention for 3-4 seconds, boom, entire mineral line gone. And with your mineral line, the chances of winning this game. And that's not what you want. Now, this was a more standard opener out of Special. So we have that Reaper into expansion coming out of Special. Will allow him to scout, even opening up with an SCV scout. Once again, we have that Zealot as well. I think we saw the same last time. Zealot fighting the depots. This time I don't think the Zealot is going to get that far. And this is a build order that Zest has been playing somewhat consistently in the past week and a half, I want to say. Where, maybe more, maybe 2.5 weeks actually. Where he opens up with core first, no scout whatsoever, and then sends the Zealot across the map. It ends up working sometimes, and sometimes it just gets caught by the Reaper, and it does absolutely nothing whatsoever. And I think that's going to be the case here. Oh my god, this position is oh, that's pain. Oh, this feels silly. This feels silly. Yeah, this bunker is actually going to finish up. Special needs to be a little bit careful though. If he does not get the Reaper there, that would suck. He really needs to get the Reaper there. He's going to try and run around, maybe? He immediately... Zest spots this. No? Oh, he hasn't spotted it yet. This Reaper is just trying to make its way across the map. Making my way downtown, walking fast, but I'm homebound. I think he could have chilled in the bunker for a little bit, no? I wouldn't have minded sitting in a bunker. If I were a Reaper, I'd be... Or if I were an SCV, I'd be in the bunker all my life. Seems like the bunker is just going to be a salvage. Did force out a recall, so I guess it's about even at this point. Oh, the bunker! The bunker was a distraction once again. I love this out of Special. Special with the million IQ brain plays. A fake proxy bunker to force his opponent to be busy with that and not get a battery. And now that there's no battery, I actually like this. This is the first time that I see the Reaper into 2 Marauder build and it doesn't look like hot garbage. No, but then an Oracle comes out and it will look like hot garbage again. God, this build really has nothing going for it, does it? I don't think I've seen a single game in which this build is the cause of a win. Freaking Reaper into Marauder, man. One day I'm, going to get something out of that. I'll look at it and be like, well, this is it. This is the one game where finally a Terran wins and then an Oracle shows up. So many Terrans are playing it though, so it must have some value. They must be winning games on the ladder that I'm not seeing. Maybe Korean Protoss players, when they play on the ladder and they face that build, they throw the game on purpose, so Terran play it in tournaments. Because I've never seen it work in a tournament. The Reaper will do nothing, the Marauders all die, and then Special is just down. Like, it really happens so consistently, it's crazy to see. Third gas already out. Oh, this is mech. Oh, this is mech. This is very mech. Uh-oh. How unfortunate. Mech. I wonder if that's an accident or not. Double expand. Double expand coming out of Zest here against Special. Builds 2 bases at the same time, because that's what a double expand means. Man, this series has had some crazy stuff. We had our proxy battlecruiser, we had the double expand, we have mech. Mech, of all things, against Protoss. Now, if I were a betting man, and someone would offer me a bet on this game, and I knew one of the players was playing mech against Protoss, personally, I would not be putting my money on the guy playing mech against Protoss. The last time I saw mech work against Protoss was in the DreamHack Winter Finals of 2010. And even that wasn't real mech. There were some Marines involved there. Nama versus Mana. Like, mech is not good. And we can talk a lot about it. But the main issue of mech is that the units do not fight well against the Protoss units. All mech units have a hard counter. And if Protoss is allowed to live without taking too much damage, those hard counters are going to come out. Oh my god, this is a good start. Look at that bait. I'm never sure if Special gets spotted on purpose or if he does it accidentally and then he just has something prepared for the situation. I actually believe that he doesn't get spotted on purpose. Like, this was not an intentional bait. Like, he has all these little tactics that he uses in the games. These neat little tricks, and he can seamlessly implement those into situations because he's played these situations so much. He'll be like, okay, my Banshee gets figured out by the Oracle. The Oracle's chasing it. My 2 Cyclones were already somewhat in position to deal with this. It's really sick because sometimes you'll see like the Cyclones over here and you're like, hey, what are they doing? And then it's for things like this apparently, and I hadn't realized that. A very cool opener. Now, I think right now, Zest is aware of what's going on. Oh my god, we have Hyperflighter rotor motors coming. This is the movement speed of the Banshee. But there is a Stargate, and thus this upgrade actually is kind of balls, honestly. Like, pretty bad. It really is. I think Banshees against Stargate are very mediocre. Because if you get a single Phoenix, or well, like 2-3 Phoenixes and an Oracle, you have very quick detection and a very easy way of chasing these Banshees as well. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Now, Banshees do have a lot of damage output. People sometimes forget about that because no one builds them. Because Phoenixes do just kind of blast them. However, this first fly-in, if there's nothing in position, could have been good. However, everything is in position and it's going to suck. Take a look at what Zest is doing. Oh, Zest sees these. He's like, oh, that's very nice of you to kill 2 of my workers, but I'm going to kill all of your Banshees right now. He's going to spot the fact as well that the Hyperflighter rotor motors are going to be done. Stuck in a corner. But at high speed at least. High speed, oh actually, holy crap, they're fast. Holy crap, they're fast. Just built like 1 Phoenix though, and this entire pressure, this Banshee pressure was useless. Congratulations. You wasted money on an upgrade that did nothing. You invested into 4 Banshees, I think it was total. Yep. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. There's a lot of supply for the meching player. That's always the case. Actually, Zest has a lot of money. He's going Storm against mech. Wait, is Zest actually aware of the fact that it's mech? Yeah, he's very aware. He's playing Storm against mech. Alright. I mean, it's allowed. I'm not the fun police, but it is a bit weird. So one of the things that I've seen have a lot of potential, that Zest also used to play a bunch, is... oh my god, that's a lot of gateways. How many do we have already? We have 8. Okay, I'll just... because some of them are transforming right now. Oh, these are Stargates as well, morphing in. I think it's going to be like 14 gates or so, right? Yeah, 14 gates. Triple Stargate. The eco is crazy for Zest here. Look at this. And for once, this Zest bank makes some sense, because he isn't sure what he wants to build yet. If his opponent doesn't push out, I bet he's going to start making Tempest or Carriers. I'd say Tempest here, actually. That feels like the correct call. It's going to be Carriers. Okay, that's interesting. Storm is out as well. Man, this is going to be a weird game. I am not entirely sure if I like this position. The way that Zest used to play was just pure Stalker and just blink around like an idiot. I really like that playstyle. Stalkers trade so well against tanks. You'd be surprised how good they are. This is a good map though. Good defensive map. Look at that. Impossible to penetrate the natural. Difficult to attack the fort as well. Like, if you need to truly defend 2 positions and you have like 4 or 5 tanks per position, life can be hard. Prism can still fly here though, get into the main base. Definitely deal some damage. You have Zest moving out right now. Ooh, the Hyperflighter rotor motors are doing their job. They're going very fast, but they're not really achieving anything. Kind of wild. Yeah, it's going to find this base and start damaging the Nexus. And, interesting to see. +1 air weapons is about to finish up, and the first 3 carriers are out as well. The problem with carriers, and one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of the carrier, is that you can't really play them with high eco. Because inherently, when you're building carriers, your army is going to consist of a massive ball. You want to have one big engagement. You're not shaving off units, you're just going for a big fight. And in those type of big fight playstyles, a high worker count doesn't really add on to anything. Like, you get quick reinforcements with a high gateway count, but if you're really kind of reliant on these carriers to do anything, it's often not the way. Because you just want more carriers. Like, you want like 50 workers, a huge army, and bam, win the fight. Bam. There you go. But if you're playing a more disposable army, having a lot of workers is actually useful. So it feels like Zest, his eco lead, I don't want to say it's meaningless, but it's worth less than it usually would have been. Like, don't get me wrong, being capable of reinforcing into a fight is still important, and it's still going to be kind of big. But at the same time, it does feel as though his probe count doesn't really synergize with this army composition. But we'll have to wait and see how exactly he's going to play it out. Surely he has a plan here. He seems very well aware of what he wanted to do. And in weird situations, that's often the most important thing. So here comes the push. He blinks in, loses all of his stalkers, and then, well, right now he's winning the air fight at least, but that was not a good start of a fight. Battlecruiser actually going to teleport on top of this. This was a god-awful fight. Okay, he had no clue what he was doing. I was wrong. I thought he had a plan, but this was a terrible plan. That was a losing fight, my friends. That really was a losing fight. Now, Special actually is allowed to be on the map. You do get quick reinforcements with all of these gateways, of course, that you have. 16 gates. But you can only do this trick once or twice. That blink was... that was gnarly. And not the good type of gnarly. It is bad. Holy crap. Now, this right side base is going to fall against these battle cruisers. We also have the mag field accelerators being built right now. That's like a car part. Whenever people talk about cars, I always get a little bit jealous, and I get this eerie feeling, like, you know, they're not talking or speaking a real language. They're just using words. Shock suspension system, V6 engine. I'm like, oh. I'm sure those are real things. This is going to be a better fight, I think, here for Zest, as there's just not that much air available currently for Special. Special's taking out this right side base, does have a teleport available. Could end up teleporting on top of this army once again. There's 3 Tempests and there's 9 battle cruisers. Almost feels like it might be possible, no? I was going to go for it. Yep, there we go. Scan, scan, scan. Time warp. Couple of Yamatos. Or couple, that's a crap ton of Yamatos. No real double fire there. Do we have enough upgrades? I think we do not. Stalkers are blinking in, and with those Stalkers, GG gets called. Zest wins game number 4 and is up 3-1. We're of course still going to play that 5th game because there's some money on the line, and I'll see you guys there. And here we indeed are in game number 5, played on Nautilus once again. What is this? Got spotted. I'm not sure if he saw it though, but he did get spotted. Alright. Do I dig it? No. Could it work, potentially? No. I don't think so either. I'm surprised Zest didn't see it, because he spotted those 2 SCVs moving out. This is a weird start once again, isn't it? We have not had any standard games. We have not had any real standard games. I'm looking at this situation, I'm like, okay, this makes no sense whatsoever. This Marine is going to pop. Some of these Marines in the middle. What even is the plan here? I guess the hope for Special was that once again Zest just wouldn't scout. Honestly, if Zest doesn't scout and this goes off, it goes off like a freaking bomb. Like, it would definitely work. Zest is going to hide his probe over here. And he will, as a result, see that marine move out. But as a result, he also will not see the marines in the middle of the map. This is a weird build order. So what is the dynamic here? Are you okay with just killing a Nexus? Is that what it's like? SCV is going to... This looks like a really late scout timing now. It's like, hey, probably just check the other bases first. Nothing suspicious about that SCV. And of course it came out of the middle, building a barracks. That is really cool, actually. That is really cool. Stargate. I mean, Stargate surely is the best scenario. Surely the Stargate has to be the best case scenario for special, right? Because usually it means less gateway units. I mean, there's hardly any gateway units right now. That probe just spotted everything. But no batteries are going down yet in the natural. No batteries going down in the main base. Now, it's been practically unscouted. Nothing has been... Oh my god, are you joking? Okay, here we go. Here we go, baby. This better be it. SCV's coming off the line as well. Special has had enough of this series, he says. I've already lost it. I'm going to collect this money pretty quick. As the sentry is going to finish up. We will get a single force field, and it is, of course, in a perfect location. These batteries might end up finishing up. I'm not sure. I think one of these batteries might be in range for a super battery. Not so sure if the others are. More chrono boost on this sentry. It's like, guys, can we get this sentry out? Maybe? Is it possible? Well, maybe it is actually. That battery being sniped could be huge. I'm not sure if this is in range of a super battery. We have another force field being used. It does not seem to be in range. I think this was the only one that ever could have been in range of that super battery. Oi, 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 oi. This is looking really painful right now for Zest. Zest in a world of trouble. Still has... Well, does he have anything? Well, he has another Stalker coming out right now. It is 15 workers lost against 22 workers lost. 5 against 5 still remaining. More Marines are streaming in. As this fight will continue for a little bit. Do you go for the probes first here? I think you might just... yeah, kill a couple of these workers. What is the worker count at home right now? Well, we are building new ones. There are mules on the way. And special... Well, this is a weird situation, isn't it? What's the worker count right now? Worker count is 2. Was that a recall on a probe? Probably was in the main base or something, no? Probably was a scouting probe. Oh, it was the one over here. That's 50% of his economy right now, but he does have double nexus. Look at his one marine. Oh, look, he spotted it. He spotted it. This James Bond. No, he should have gone for the probes. Hello, sniper? Go for the probes, man. What are you doing? Oh, he's running back. No, don't. No. What? If you kill, like, even 2 probes here, that would have been huge. Hey, this also is big. Taking out 1 Stalker. I still think killing the probes would have been a better play, no? Oh, there's so much money in the bank. He's waiting for another Stalker warp in. Look at this spot. This is a stupid game. This is a stupid game. Look at him. 2 James Bonds. Well, the original James Bond has died already. This is the second James. Hames and Thames. There. Oh, once again a surround. How many more times do you think you can pull off this trick? It's like a magician just doing the rabbit trick, you know, out of that. And another rabbit. It's like the 50th rabbit. Like, yeah, we've seen it. I really believe that going into the main base to kill some workers would have been the play here. Or just saving up until you have like legit 50 Marines or so. That also could have been a pretty cool move. Now I'm not even sure if specials... Oh, he's going to try again. No, he's just going to send them back home. God, this game is something. This game actually is something. 1 barracks moves to the right, 1 barracks moves to the left. If this barracks is going to land in the main base, save up 3 Marines and then kill something, that would be really cool. Oh, ooh. Land it for blocking? No, you can't. Nah, okay, that would have been too much. I'm pushing my luck now. Bunker in the front. I think it's a good call. I really do believe that. Special should be a little bit more conservative with these Marines. He needs to keep at least some of them alive. Look at it go. Dude, Mew is crazy in this type of scenario. Look at the mineral income. 13 to 12 workers, but he's outmining him by like 200-300. I actually believe this is a favorable position for Zest though, because of the double nexus. Yeah, this feels like a favorable position for Zest right now. It's actually gonna do it. I love my calls. I can't believe it's working. Imagine he kills like 4 workers. 25% of the eco. It is less impactful now than it would have been before though. Because you can continuously be building workers even if you lose 4 workers at this point. And before, you would need to have like massive cuts in your worker production if that would have happened. He's going to save up 2 Marines. Yeah, this is actually the correct play. I can't believe this is working. I actually cannot. I cannot believe this is working. Well, it's not working yet. We need 18 more seconds. I think he'll kill 3 workers. Maybe 4. He already has 2 wrecks as well at home. He's getting gas finally. There is some money for warpins. Do you wait till 3? Oh, okay, now it gets spotted. Okay, well, that kind of fails. That's stupid. Yeah, he's gonna warp in 1 stalker. Special didn't realize that he got spotted already. So, okay, he's actually going to suck now. It was such a cool thought, though. I really did like it. It was a good thought. I cannot blame him for trying. I would have tried as well. I told him to do this. I told him to do this exactly. I said, hey, this is the correct play. It was not the correct play. And that's fine. Sometimes I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But this time I also was. Lost 2 workers, also loses the barracks. Of course, could have just gone home with the other barracks. Would have had a little more production. 3rd barracks is on the way at home right now as well. We have these mules still raining down from the sky. It's 22 workers to 31. I don't think this is a favorable position whatsoever for our good friend Special right now. Stargate still is done as well. We have triple sentries on the way. It feels like Zest is kind of preparing for something that isn't there. A big 3 Rex push with stim and combat. I guess Zest really is unaware of what his opponent's eco is. The funny thing is, had Special left 1 or 2 more SCVs at home, that would have been huge. And Zest, of course, is not aware of how many SCVs stayed at home. So he could still believe that he's really far behind. He could also believe that he's ahead. He just... I don't know what he's thinking right now. It's really difficult. But the fact that he's not building a single Stargate unit, he's building this many sentries and a battery already, makes me believe that he's underrating his own position currently. He's playing overly safe to try and stay alive. Now it's also possible that he believes that there's... that he's so far ahead that he just needs to not die right now. Okay, well, this hallucination should give him a lot of info. It sees a gas here in the natural, by the way. It's a weird gas. That's a kind of a fast 3rd gas. No? Also, pure marine production, single tech lab. If I were Zest, I'd be scratching my head. Like, hey, is this like some pure marine timing with stim? It doesn't even make any sense. It's going to happen, though. It is going to happen. We'll get combat with it eventually as well. 3rd CC going down. The 3rd Nexus also should be on the way. And we have a Robo Bay. I like Zest's position very much. I do believe it is much superior in this case. Because he has a lot of freedom to basically produce what he wants. He has the sentries already. If he gets a battery, this Nexus is going to finish before this push hits. Yeah, before this push hits, right? Yeah, no, for sure. So then there's a super battery. We're going to have 4 to 5 force fields. 4 to 6. These will get a force field at the same time. So it's either 4 or 6 force fields. I do not think that Special can just move in here now. That seems kind of crazy, actually. Yeah, that's a good scan. This is a scan that tells you that you need to go home right now. That's what that scan does. No, this is... You're misinterpreting this information, I think. That scan told you to go home. There's going to be a Colossi soon as well, but even without that Colossi... Yeah, this was a go home scan, my friend. This was not a, hey, let's just hang around for a little bit. Of course, unfortunate that Zest managed to see all of that with his observer. But that was 100% the incorrect call. It's Special, it still is going home time right now. And you need to do it rather sooner than later. You cannot stay around here. You cannot stay. This is not viable. Yeah, Stim, you need to get home. It's the correct play. It is the correct play. Combat Shield finishes up. Marauder gets picked off right now. First 2 medevacs, are they out yet? No, they haven't even started. oh, that third base is never going to land this. That Zest is just going to sit outside of this third and say, hey, you ain't getting a third. I have my own third. I'm getting Blink. I'm getting a second Forge already. Thermal Lance is on the way. Zest needs to do absolutely nothing at this point. He can sit, he can wait, he can relax, and he is going to win, I think. And yeah, there's just... I don't really see a way around it right now for Special. Is there any... What are the counterplays available? So there's a lot of sentries, which means that in a direct fight, Stalker, Colossi plus this Immortal are going to perform extremely well. Just, although this map isn't great for force field, you know, you have large spaces that you need to cover. It's difficult, you need like 6 force fields in order to kind of seal this off. I still believe that this is a good enough sentry count. In that it becomes almost impossible for Special to do any type of straight up push. Why is he walking here? What did he see? Oh, he must have spotted them earlier. He's going to get some free shots on these medevacts. Get some medevac there without Blink. It's impressive, and it's also sad for Special. You see this fourth base is going to unload right now. Moves in with another big army. There's a lot of money in the bank currently for Zest. And if he uses one warp in, I just don't really see a way where Special deals any damage anymore. Ooh, this Colossi needs to be careful. How did he see that? Maybe he just felt it. He just wanted that to be in the natural, I guess. The game sense of Zest is often very, very good. It's really, really sick. Oh, yeah, that's you can still kill it, of course, by putting a Stalker on top of it and with the splash of the Colossi taking it out. But it being invisible is kind of annoying. We see an Observer immediately being constructed. Double. Oh, that all gets spotted here by the Observer. I'm not so sure if Zest saw it. He could have been aware of it if he were paying attention to either the minimap or just to that spot right at that moment. Does not seem to be the case. This double drop. This is probably one of the only ways that Special can get back into the game, is by doing this type of aggressive, risky dropping. It's not working out so far though. Big move forward right now out of Special. These force fields actually need to keep this army alive. They will keep this army alive. This was kind of scary. This was a scary moment for Zest. It wouldn't have been as scary if he had spent some of the money that is sitting in his massive bank account right now. 1,300 minerals in the bank, 400 gas as well. 2 upgrades as well as a Dark Shrine. Yeah, it feels like Zest is already, you know, tacking to some real big things. And Special is just barely getting Ghost out. It's like, oh, I want some Vikings maybe? Like, Zest is already in the ultra late game. Like, he's in the 21st century. And Special hasn't even met Jesus yet. Like, this is how far they're currently off. It's not looking good. It really is not looking good for Special, tech-wise. If he gets this snipe on the fort base, though, economically, this will really improve his situation. As long as he does not lose this army and just runs it away, it should be possible. I don't think a blink forward... Oh, well, one blink forward. Marauder for a Stalker. Oh, this flanking Colossi actually going to be really annoying. Oh, there's no boost available. 2 medevacts will get taken out here. Yeah, this would have been good if this army stays alive, because then you have some control on that right side of the map. Right now, this will just actually trigger Zest into attacking, and I don't think there's enough units that Special has that are good enough to fight this. He's going to need 8 to 10 Vikings in this type of scenario. Probably a bigger Bioforce as well. The fact that there are Ghosts out is huge. +2 is finishing up as well, so that is also kind of important. But yeah, Zest's army just a little bit too big. I really believe if these 3 medevacs would have stayed alive on that right side of the map, this game could have gone into Special's favor eventually, but not like this. Zest walks across the map, gets the kill, gets the 4-1 on the board as well. And Special taps out. That's going to be it for me today. Once again, thanks to the Olimolik for providing me this replays through the Patreon, patreon.com/Olimolik. And I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye-bye.